This is what it said. The medicine for my suffering I had within me from the very beginning, but I did not take it. My ailment came from within myself, but I did not observe it until this moment. Now I see that I will never find the light unless, like the candle, I am my own fuel, consuming myself. I don't know why this spoke so clearly to me in this moment, and I didn't really know what to do with it. But I felt for the first time what can only be described as hope, as though someone had given me a clue to a giant puzzle that I didn't even know. And I didn't even know that I was trying to solve it. Can you feel it here on Chaos Corner? As I get chills and goosebumps and sensations running through my body. I don't know why this placed so clearly and this spoke so clearly to me in this moment. And I didn't really know what to do with it, as I said. But it felt for the first time what can only be described as hope. There's a point I read it twice. Think about it. Think about the puzzle that you're trying to solve right now in your life. I began to recognize that I'd been repeating over and over to myself, not proactively, not with great intention or purpose, but really in utter desperation. The internal plea, help me! I can't live like this, please help me. And the first cracks of light came through in this reading of my father's words. Somehow I had unconsciously called to help me, and help had arrived. Scriptures. So often we feel like the answer to our pain is to ignore it or to expunge it, to let go without acknowledging it, because to do so would be to potentially implode. And we've all experienced it. You know my history. I'm getting to know yours. But I was already suffering so much, and here was my father saying to me that I had the medicine to cure myself. Did I really? How? Further quotes revealed thoughts like, let yourself go with the disease. Be with it. Keep company with it. This is the way to get rid of it. And in the middle of chaos lies opportunity. I had been thrown into the maelstrom of chaos and had become rigid, so...
Motion detected at front camera.
So gripped by my pain that I could barely breathe. I was resisting life while pretending at life because I couldn't believe that it could be good anymore. Talking about life. How could life be good again with a dead brother on top of a dead father? Or for myself, a dead daughter on top of a dead mother on top of a dead brother. And we've all gone through it. Each and every one of you have your own story. I want to hear about it. Release it. Tap into it. Learn to live again. And I mean that. This is a shoot. This is not kayfabe. This is reality. There was no logical path forward to true happiness from here. But this existence I was cowering inside of was to life. So life, I was cowering inside of was no life either. Just want to get this straight and get the message correct. And so I succumbed. I looked inward. I wanted to live my Father's words. I wanted to believe that there was more. That's what we all want. I began to seek to order my chaos. I sat with my grief and I sought more books, more words, therapists, healers, and if that's what works for you, do it. I opened myself up to the grief of loss and let it teach me how to live. I delved deeper into my Father's philosophy, and I began to seek out being more purposeful, more real, more whole, and it's still happening. I am a work in progress, as we all are. I have sometimes been lulled back to sleep and disengaged from life by the choices and mistakes I continue to make, and we all fall short every day. Pray, repent, prepare, repeat. I still struggle. But in that moment, for the first time in my life, I began to know there was something more. I began to glimpse the possibility of joy and freedom. I began to realize through my seeking that within my lay dormant the capacity for aliveness that I had forgotten so long ago. Excuse me. In coming to terms with the reality of my life, I realized that I had been mildly depressed most of my life. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that, recognizing it, and dealing with it. Whether it's through prayer, therapy, exercise, family, friends. Until I finally got free of that chronic depression around the age of 30, in my ignorance, I thought that everyone felt the kind of soul pain that I had always felt. I just thought that was how life was for everyone. We've all been down that road. My father said, with adversity, you are shocked to higher levels. Much like a rainstorm that is so violent. As you can hear, this is all for a reason. For your mindset here on Chaos Corner. A rainstorm that is so violent. But yet afterwards, all the plants grow. By taking my healing into my own hands and searching unrelentingly for wholeness, I had come to discover His truth and make it my own. I had made it through the rainstorm and discovered a whole new life on the other side that was in full bloom. I came to cultivate a faith in the journey that I had not previously had, and life started to disclose its secrets to me. My father's words had struck the match and offered the first light for me. Like the candle, I began to burn, and slowly the clouds began to lift, and the whole world began to light up. We are always in a process of becoming, and nothing is fixed. I have no rigid system in you, and you'll be flexible to change with the ever-changing. Open yourself and flow, my friend.
Hey everyone, I'm Jamie Lynn Sigler.
Temporary break
I was in my 20s.
right here on Chaos Corner. Be water, my friend, and let's pray for Jamie Lynn Siegler, who also has her own physical incapacities.
I decided
So
to
stand
take
by,
charge.
take a break. We're
After
going
talking to
right
my
back to
doctor
Be
about
Water,
my
my
options,
friend.
the choice
Alexa,
for me.
lower the volume.
Yes. Boom.
She's always
At
still
Kesimpta.
here, Austin,
Learn more
even
about
in the
Kesimpta,
middle of the teachings.
ofatumumab at kesimpta.com.
We're getting ready for a leap of faith here on Chaos Corner. Don't go anywhere. We're less than 40 minutes in. We'll probably go an hour.
It works hard on your hair while you focus on what matters most: your career, your passions, your goals. Get hair that
Everybody
feels
stand
healthy,
by
strong,
as we
and
continue
youthful with Schwarzkopf
with the
Keratin Color.
teachings of Bruce
Look your
Lee,
best when it
as
matters
told
most.
by Shannon Lee, his daughter. Be water, my friend. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Let's refocus. Deep breath. I'm going to go back to the last quote that we were reading from Bruce Lee. We are always in a process of becoming, and nothing is fixed. Have no rigid system in you, and you'll be flexible to change with ever changing. Open yourself and flow, my friend. Flow in the total openness of the living moment. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. Moving, be like water. Still, be like a mirror. Respond like an echo. I hope your notebooks are still out. I'm going to repeat that. Moving, be like water. Still, be like a mirror. Respond like an echo. Echo, echo, echo. Corny, but you get the point. And true. Leap of faith. I wanted to tell you this story because you may feel like life is kind of meh, or maybe even worse, especially in the current day
Motion detected at front camera.
of 2026, in the dog days of summer. You may feel like life is painful and grinding you down. How apropos. If so, then you're in the rainstorm and you may not realize it. Like me in my 26-year malaise of depression, you may be shut down and not even know it. You don't have to be able to pinpoint a traumatic event in your life like I did to now that you're not truly, really living, if that makes sense. You're nodding your head. Thank you. If you can't possibly imagine feeling vibrant and full of energy most of the time, I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. And I'm here to tell you that the kind of alive life is not just a fantasy for hippies and superheroes. It's possible. Just because you haven't been able to access it yet doesn't mean that you can't. But you have to decide to believe that you can have it and that you have to pursue it. You have to take that leap of faith. Are you listening? Hello? McFly? Is anybody home? My father said, I cannot and will not scoff at faith when reason seems to be such a barren thing. And what is faith? By his definition, and use your own wisdom for discernment. There'll be a lot of false prophets coming forward. Faith is the maintaining of the soul through which one's aims may be translated into their physical equivalent. Faith maintains the soul. To me, that means trusting in the things that make me feel whole. Furthermore, my father believed in prayer. Faith is a state of mind that can be conditioned through self-discipline. Faith can be induced or created by repeated instructions to the subconscious mind through the principle of auto-suggestion. This is the voluntary development of the emotion of faith. If you want more faith-based, Zen-like meditation, counseling, talking, chatting, just letting it go. And again, I'm no professional. Navigate the playlist here. Go to the playlist Knowledge and Faith here on the channel. Knowledge and Faith here on the channel. I have several videos that I think you'll find very interesting and very helpful. At least they were for me. Let's break that down. Faith means believing or trusting. So while there is a reason, logic, evidence, deduction, analysis, etc.
Motion detected at front camera.
A lot of movement, a lot of activities here at Chaos Headquarters. There's also trusting oneself, trusting others who have your back. Few and far between. You're lucky if you can count them on one hand, but there's one you can always trust in. Trusting the journey, believing in one's instincts and intuition, which is where wisdom from using your wisdom for discernment comes into play. Intuition is the language of the soul. It points us toward our heart's expression. Intuition is that sensation or signal you receive to explore or follow something even when there is no logical reason for doing so. And faith in your intuition will help lead you out of the rainstorm if you learn to cultivate and follow it. And I apologize for the commercials here. I really do. It's a little distraction from our teachings. But focus. Focus, Chaos. Focus. The good news is, if you don't have that kind of faith in yourself just yet, you can develop it. Remember the affirmation tool? Do you? You can develop it just by deciding to remind yourself every day that you're going to have faith in yourself, that you're going to find and feel and implement your internal guidance system, that you're going to practice patience, that you're going to practice trusting your instincts and believing that if you engage fully in the experiment of life, you will come to find your way out of the storm and into your blooming. You're pretty impressed with how I could stay focused, still continue to relay the message while there's an outside influence still talking. I learned that many years of being behind the walls, being in the streets, being amongst my people. You can focus through anything.
Motion detected at front camera.
Learn to train yourself to do that. I used to train myself to listening to 3 or 4 radio stations at one time and trying to discern and process all of it and not be distracted by each and every one. An incredible training and teaching lesson. Some of the things that I do, which make me the guardian of chaos, and which is why I'm here. There were people who tried to tell me during the time of my brother's death that everything happens for a reason. Let me give you a little tip on that. That is a sentiment better left at the door when someone's struggling. I understand prayers, thoughts, condolences. I get it. Let's keep it at a minimum. We've all been there. We all know how it feels. So again, that's a sentiment better left at the door when someone's struggling at times. Again, discernment. And though you may later come to recognize the gifts that evolved out of having faced your trauma, because usually there is one and it's hard to see through that rainstorm, the trauma is still the trauma. No one could tell you how to deal with that trauma. People say all kinds of phrases. Time is my answer. That doesn't mean the trauma goes away, because it never does. You just learn to deal with it in a different way. It's a lot to process. At some point when you feel ready, begin to focus on the idea that you, as a person who finds their way through the storm by beginning with it and seeking a path to the other side of it, even if it's on your hands and knees, you are the person whose soul can learn to rise no matter how long it takes. That's who you are. Don't forget it. I'll be right back with another episode on the teachings of Bruce Lee and my own life experiences and what I continue to lean on. Thanks for being here. And don't forget to come back. Be water, my friend.